Chodesh Tov to everybody. We know this is the month of Iyar. Baruch Hashem. We did what we had to do in Paris. Debbie and me, we met a few wonderful spiritual people and rabbi. And we saw that there is a lot of work that need to be done. So Rosh Chodesh Iyar represent Iyar, Aleph Yud Yud Resh, Ani Hashem Rofecha. I am God, your healer. Also, the Chodesh Iyar there is two letters that controlling it, Pei and Vav. Also, Rosh Chodesh Iyar, as within it, the Kabbalah, the meditation of Yud Kevav Kei, when the two A are together, which is Bina and Malchut are basically joined forces together. Iyar standing for the month of Taurus. We are in the month of Taurus, a very important month where within it we have Rabbi Meir Bar Hanes Ilula, we have second Pesach, what we call Pesach Sheni, we have the Ilula, of course, the one and only Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. So we have a lot of powerful things that are happening in the month of Iyar that we can take advantage of it. What is that we need to do to take advantage of this month? What is that need to be done specifically for this month that it will work for us? So for that reason, I'm going to read a section from Rabbi Ashlag with the commentary and the interpretation of the son of Rabbi Brandwein, Rabbi Avraham Brandwein. So it says like this: Matrat ha'itpatchut, the purpose of development of who we are. Matrat ha'itpatchut hu kidei la'ashlim et tachlit habriya. The reason there is always a foundation in our universe of growing and getting better and better is that we will fulfill the purpose of creation. ונחזור כאן בקצרה. Let's cover it, say to us רב אשלג או רבי אברהם ברנדווין. כבר ביאר רבנו, באריכות בהקדמה לספר הזוהר, רב אשלג already explained in the beginning to the ספר הזוהר, in the letter למד ג', כי כל תכלית בריאת העולמות, the whole purpose of creation of all the olamot, all the worlds. Those of you who don't know, it's not just Adam, Kadmon, Atzilut, Bria, Yitzira, and Asiya, which is different worlds. There is within it, there is many olamot, many parts of him, many system, endless amount of system, endless amount of world and universes. So this whole thing was created for human. כי מחשבת הבריאה הייתה להיטיב לנבראיו, because the thought of God, the thought of the Creator, the thought of the creation was to do good for the one he created. וכדי שהנברא יקבל את האור והטוב, for that reason, so the one that God created, meaning us, will receive this wonderful light and the goodness of God from the Creator. לכן צריך שמקבל יצא במסגרת גופו שיהיה רצון לקבל. For that reason, a person has to change too. Why? Because if you don't have affinity with the force that's giving you, and you are the receiver, for that reason it will be contradiction between the giver and the receiver. So you say, a mekabel, the receiver, has to get out of his body, out of his consciousness, שיהיה הרצון לקבל, which is the desire to receive, וישיג טבע שני, שהוא הרגשת הזולת, and he need to change. A person need to change. What is the change that the person needs to do? הרגשת הזולת, the feeling of the other human being, והרצון להשפיע אליו, the second thing, and the desire to give to the other person. So first thing, הרגשת הזולת, feeling of the other person. Second is the desire to give to the other person. וכך יוכל להתקשר להשם יתברך. In that moment, the person connects to the Creator. כיוון שהוא בהשוואת הצורה עמו, because you become like the Creator, become like God. והתכונה הזו והיכולת להרגיש את הזולת, and that ability, capability of feeling the other person, לא נמצא. It's not exist within the domain, within the mineral, צומח, vegetables, ולא בחי, and not within the animal. כי אם במדבר, only with the one who speak, which is human. לכן האדם הוא תכלית הבריאה. For that reason, the whole creation was designed for humanity. אבל, את הטבע של הרצון להשפיע, but that nature of giving, ולהרגיש באמת, and to truly feel את הזולת, the other people, צריך אדם לפתח. You need to develop it. This needs to be developed every day. Every day you have to check yourself, not to crush yourself, I'm so selfish. That doesn't help. You cannot crush yourself that you're too selfish. It's wrong. What you got to do, say it was Rav Ashlag and Rav Brandwein here explaining it in a wonderful way. I mean, the son of Rav Brandwein. צריך אדם לפתח. You got to develop the aspect of giving. כי בטבעו נתון במסגרת הרצון לקבל שבו. Because within your nature you only want to receive. וכוח הרגשת הזולת והרצון להשפיע שבו. And you have to develop that feeling of giving to the others. I know some of you thinking, hey, wait a minute, I have within me, I'm a giver. I feel the others, I'm nice. And you most probably are right that you are giving. But within the giving has to become an effort. We got to look, do I give with my mind, with my words, and with my action? Or I'm just giving with all those three categories for the sake of getting something out of it. And in the month of Taurus, we have the ability to shift it. That's the month of Taurus. The month of Taurus is very powerful. Very powerful. If not the most powerful month of the year. But within it, there is the Omer, what we call in Kabbalah, Katnut. So those of you who study with me on Passover, so it's Katnut, meaning it's not fully developed. When something is not fully developed, it gives you the chance to truly develop yourself, build your character. And that's why this month is important. That's why I'm reading it for you. So you have to look within you. The desire to share has to be developed every second, every hours, every day. You got to think about giving. How you drive, how you talk, why do you talk like that? And of course, challenges will happen. It will be challenged. You're going to meet the wrong people, wrong situation, but they're not wrong situation or wrong people. It's been I have to develop myself. So God give me more. This Shabbat, I spent time in one of the local synagogue here. And we make sure that Vital will be involved, like donating, helping with the food and everything. And thank you to our people all over the world who are helping us to help other synagogue, other places. It's wonderful, so we can help. And I usually bring my own wine with me. And so I can do the blessing. And people who want the wine, it was the only wine. So they took it without permission, and I was a bit upset because I need the wine for the blessing. And the person who gave it to them was next to me, was a Chassid, wonderful human being from Israel. And he said, I'm so sorry that I did it, but they were pushing to get your wine, and how can I say no? I said, Baruch Hashem, it did bother me? Yes, it did. Because I felt they're stealing. I mean, they should ask me. But in the other end, how can you develop yourself if you don't go through that? If I want to get over my anger, or my judgment, or my impatience, I need those people to be in my life. They had to come and meet me. Now, that gentleman who took the wine, get angry with me that I didn't give it too fast. So when we go to pray, he was bothered that wherever I sit, he sits and they put the books next to me. And I say, Hashem, God, Creator, why? It's not the month of Taurus yet. 1 second. I know the month of Taurus is supposed to develop your soul in the highest level. That's why Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai can help you. But it's too many things. It's good. Not so much fun, I have to tell you. But it's good. The beautiful thing that this morning when I went to pray with them, all of a sudden this gentleman is nice. With his son talking to me, they welcome me. And I said to myself, what is going on? Does that mean they change? Or does that mean that I grew up 1 inch higher in my spirituality? And for that reason, they start looking different to me. So what Rav Ashlag and Rav Vandana are teaching us here, we have to develop. It's called itpatchut, developing of the soul, by doing few things. Lerachem, to have mercy, velehov, and to love. Et הזולת, the other person. And you cannot skip those things. It's a test. Now, why do you have to be tested? Why? Because it's all practice how to love God. God's giving you all type of human being to go through. So your love to God eventually will be unconditional. You cannot develop a love which is unconditional toward God if you wouldn't meet the wrong people. So you'd say, now he's bringing Ravash like from Talmud 10 הספירות. So Ravash like write like this, ויש לדעת, you need to know, שכל הנטיות והמידות טבועות באדם, all the things that a human being has, לשמש בהם כלפי חבריו, הנה כל הנטיות והמידות הטבועות כולן נחוצות לעבודת השם יתברך. Every time you develop yourself spiritually, I don't know if you, maybe I should explain what it means, develop yourself spiritually. The nature of the body is to take. A person, the body, coveting, chemda, coveting, lust, desire. That's what the body does. Lo tachmod, the last commandment in the 10 Commandments. A person should not covet. The coveting is the tikkun of this generation. Coveting of a woman, coveting of a man, coveting of a money, coveting of a car, I don't know, whatever it is that you are coveting, lachmod. So for that reason, the development will be 2 aspects to it. One aspect, to be able to control my coveting, my lust, my desire. And second thing, can I share? Sharing is not always easy if it's done right. I'm not talking about sharing that, you write a check. It's nice, it's good too. You give a fruit. You invite people for dinner. This is good. That's the asiyah, that's the malchut. But the real level starts with what's going on in your mind. What's happening in your mind? Because if in your mind there is no conscious of sharing, no conscious of giving, then you don't develop yourself. Now, those of you who feel you're already giving, let me tell you what Rav Ashlag said. When Rav Ashlag chooses a student who is going to be a teacher, he makes sure that they have no ego. If somebody has a dynasty come from famous rabbi, father or grandfather or before that, he would kick them out. He said, you don't belong here because you're not thirsty enough. When you come from the bottom and you become spiritual and you become connected to God, you have a better chance that somebody who's born into it. Why? Because you desire more, you want more. You want to change, and the change feel like a change. Almost like you move from Friday to Shabbat. Friday morning is a working day. Friday night, you rest. It's Shabbat. You can feel the difference. So, the development of the person, you need all of it to develop yourself through people. Otherwise, you cannot connect to God. So, everything that you do with human being, you need to understand it helping you to connect to God. It's in Sanhedrin, in the Talmud in Sanhedrin. Sanhedrin is a section in the Talmud, page Lamed Zayin, page 37. A person should say to himself, the universe was created only for me. Can you say it on Rosh Chodesh Iyar? The universe was created only for me. משום שכל בריאות העולם נחוצים ליחיד, because the whole universe is needed for the one individual, שהם המפתחים מחשבים את נהיותיו ומידותיו, because the whole universe is here to help you to grow spiritually until you will be ready to serve the Creator. So, for that reason, we need to understand that we got to get into sharing and into love. But don't be mistaken that the love and the sharing I'm talking about, it's external. It's how people see you. You have to see what's missing every day about your sharing. You have to see what's missing. When you do that, something happens. Now, I would like to speak about another thing. Anyway, another thing about the month of Iyar, I'd say Pei and Vav is the letter, right? Vav for the month of Taurus, Pei for the Venus. We know Venus is soon going to meet Uranus. I already spoke about it in the astrological forecast. So we actually, tomorrow, you're going to feel something like lighter. You're going to love each other. It's more easy. But also, Taurus, which is very much like frame, meeting Uranus, don't like frame. So that's when people want to break through to something that enough is enough. They're ready to jump out. Especially if you're Taurus, or you have rising Taurus, or moon in Taurus, or Venus in Taurus, you're gonna feel like enough. I want to jump out of wherever I am. I'm in the wrong house, wrong relationship, wrong business. I'm jumping out. Now, if you do it only for yourself, not going to work. If you do it for the sake of society and for the sake of sharing and for the sake of love, it's going to work. So, it's like this. How do you develop yourself? Now we're getting to the bottom line. How do you develop yourself? So I'm reading also from Rabbi. It's every human being, every creation, include the minerals, the vegetables, the animals, and the human, has two forces within them. We have a force that draw things into our life, and we have a force that push things away from our life. We draw the good thing that's helping us, and we push away the thing that's not helping us or damaging us. And every human being has that. Meaning, for example, you push away fire, but you get closer to water. So the human has it too, as the animal, as the vegetables, and as the minerals. But, say Rav Ashlag, the human has another force of sifting and filtering out from the brain. What is it? According to our experience, we learn from the past and we jump into conclusion to the future. And we call that the force, say Rav Ashlag, recognition of the negativity. And it's based on our experience. So it's not enough just to watch ourselves according to the body between bitter to sweet. Now we need to develop the brain to know the difference between good and bad, that it's coming from experience through the body or through the action that we are doing. And what are those two forces now that play a game? One force is the pushing force, which called the suffering force, and the other force called the drawing force, which is the Torah. So the study of the Torah to get you to the same place that if you suffer. But whatever you suffer, whatever you study spirituality, you get the same result. So I think study spirituality sounds like a better deal. So Rav Ashlag here developing a point. He said that the whole Torah is here to teach us the conclusion of the damage that happened because of egoism. And the Torah is helping us step by step, not because of understanding the Torah is helping us. The fourth, there is a special light in the Torah that push away egoism from your life. It's almost like when you study, something happened to your spirit. So you're no longer drawing that need for an ego. So you have one force pushing you from behind, that's called the force of suffering, and force you to be what you meant to be happen to you. It can happen, God forbid, to losing of money, health, relationship, suffering. The second force that push you is the Torah or the mitzvot. When you're doing it for the right reason, not for you only. So whatever you suffer or you're not, you're going to get to the same place. So why should I study if I get to some place? Let's say a person is enjoying suffering. Good question, right? He said when you worship the Creator, when you choose Torah, we start to develop within us a specific force. And because we connect to so much light and so much gentleness and so much pleasure that comes from the Creator, הנועם והעידוד שאנחנו מרגישים בעת העבודה על התורה על השם יתברך, because we study Torah not just to become smart, only for the sake of sharing with the Creator, meaning we are here to receive the wisdom of God because the Creator enjoy when we do that, not enjoy like we enjoy as human, but nachat ruach, and we remove the selfish desire and the ego. For that reason, we develop within us a need to help others, a need to be kind, a need to share. And tell us, Ravash, like, oh, he says something so profound here, I hope I will be able to explain it. והטעם מדוע הכל נבחן רק על פי התנסות המעשית בלבד. The reason everything has been tested only by the action, because the human being is based on desire, not on wisdom, which is a surprise for me. Why would he say that? ואדרבה, התבונה היא תולדת הרצון. That's a revelation. Ravashlik is telling us the wisdom is an outcome of your desire. In a different place, Ravashlik said, the thought is the outcome of your desire. Meaning, if you start thinking negative, because there is something wrong with your desire. But the desire itself, okay, is only manifest through action. So why do you need the wisdom? Why God give you wisdom? Tell us, Rav Ashlag, the reason you got wisdom, it will become like a mirror to look in your action and to make sure was it good or not good. That's how you develop yourself. You got to do some sharing, let me summarize. You got to do some sharing, you got to do some love, you got to do some giving. And at the same time, see that you're doing it in the right way, that there is no aspect of receiving for yourself. Don't forget that not a coincidence. This week portion is Kedoshim. Kedoshim. In Israel, they already read Kedoshim. In America or in other countries, they're going to read Kedoshim this Shabbat. In Kedoshim, we talk about how to become nice to the other human being. The month of Taurus, my friend, is here to help us to close the gap between people. That we have to be honest with ourselves, that we might not be the best with them. We might disappoint them. Even if we didn't mean to disappoint them, we might judge them. You don't have to reveal to them what you did. It's not about honest game. Let me make a confession. No, that's not what this month is about. That's the month of Elul for. This month is about change. Make some action. Make some action. Go and do something. They don't have to know it's you. Send them, I don't know, a flower. You don't have money, just take a piece of paper, write something funny or nice and envelope, and that's it. You gotta make sure you make it about people this month. I have to tell you that in this month, Rabbi Akiva, 24,000 students, passed away. I'm not talking about regular students. I'm talking about people who study in the same school as Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Rabbi Iyar Baal HaNes. Just try to imagine what we're dealing with here. And only because they didn't have enough respect for one another. They had to go. They had to go. One of the people who stay with us, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Rabbi Iyar Baal HaNes, another 3, of course. 5 of them. And for that reason, I hope, I'm planning to do Lag BaOmer, the holiday of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, study as much as we can, all night, Bezrat Hashem, Bli Neder, with the help of God, in New York City. We need to put energy into New York. And hopefully we'll be able to elevate everybody, that have a desire to change. Have a desire to change, to make a change, to develop yourself, you got to develop yourself spiritually. That's really what it's all about. There's nothing more important than developing your spirit, your soul, your neshama into a place where you need to be. I said in the beginning that the combination of these months is you have the 2A together, day of Malchut and day of Binah coming together. Day of Malchut representing the desire. Day of Binah representing the desire that was fixed already. How do you fix your desire? When you want something, not just for you, you want it to give a pleasure to the other person so they can give you. That's how you fix the desire. When you put those 2A together, that means Malchut and Binah are unified, almost like Tzimtzum Bet, those of you familiar with those terms. So we are dealing with a month that has within it any change that you want to make in your life, this month. Now, I know some of you are asking, but it's the Omer. And during the Omer, you don't buy a store, you don't start a new thing. It is true. But the reason you don't do all of those physical things, so you can work on yourself. It's only 30 days. All what you have to do is for 30 days fight like a tiger. Fight like a tiger against your ego, against your pride, and you're going to win. After all, if you cannot overcome whatever you try to overcome, why would you believe that something around your life will change? Like people who want to control everybody, but they cannot control their temper. So don't try to control people until you control your temper. Judging people, can you control that? No. So why would you expect people not to judge you? Everything. We need to work on ourselves in this month, on ourselves only. And remember, this month is also the month of purification. So with the help of God, I hope God will help us. And please pray for us. We're going to work on building a mikveh. And we see how that's going to go with your pray. Everything is about changing something within me so I can become more pure, more spiritual, more giving, more loving. Don't be cheap this month, please. Don't be cheap this month. Think about the other person. You don't have money, don't be cheap with words. You're not in the mood with words, I don't know, move your body in a funny way to make other people happy. That's what this month is about. So again, this month can turn things around like never before. If you worry about Russia, like I am, in Ukraine, and how many people are dying. I mean, I'm not God, and I'm not a politician, so I don't know that much. But I know one thing. I know the human spirit is strong. And I know that when we are thinking even together, we don't even need to do meditation. Just think together. Just close your eyes every day for 5 minutes and talk to God. Talk to the Creator. And say, Creator, I'm changing something within me. And that would be my donation to Ukraine and Russia conflict. That's really how change takes place. I have to sacrifice something within me that it's very difficult for me to change. And by doing that, I'm taking that energy and send it to wherever it need to go. I hope you all find these few words okay for you and find you well. I want to wish also happy birthday to all the Taurus, include my wife and daughter. I mean, my wife says she's Gemini, but she's really Taurus. She born May 15. And also my daughter who born May 5th. So Cinco de Mayo. And again, Taurus are incredible people. They can come off a little bit with diplomacy because honesty is very important for them. They don't know how to Baba mice is what we call it. They don't know how to go around the bush and talk politics and diplomacy. They just say it. They like the truth. Everything else, it's easy for them. But also Taurus has to change. You need to learn diplomacy. You need to learn how to speak. That's your sharing. You know, if you're married to a Taurus, they might be stubborn. They're gonna get stubborn because when they see you're a little bit hypocrite with whatever you do, they don't like it. So if you have a friend who's Taurus, or wife or husband who's Taurus, you're a very lucky person. Because there's nothing like Taurus to be your friend. They have your back wherever you go. So Taurus are very, very special people. I'm very lucky to surround myself with Taurus wherever I go. And please, I'm asking all of you, this month is a very important month for self-development. If you need me, reach out, please, or reach Debbie, just text me. And you know that I'm always giving whoever want to study Torah only, want to study a book of Rabbi Ashlag, Rabbi and any book that you want to study, just let me know, and I would like to be as generous as I can be to teach it to you and guide you, whatever you need, okay? So let me wish you a wonderful month. And if there's people in New York who need me, I will be there this week. And my pleasure to help whoever need my help and guidance. I will be there for you. All the best, and may God bless you. And happy Rosh Chodesh. And make sure self-development. Thank you. Toda Rabba. Chodesh.